All right. This is really informal, but we do have kind of an agenda. So just so you can keep track of where we are, I'm just going to put that in the chat. You can follow along. Oh, hi, Lindsay. Your background looks so good. Oh,
I know. I love
about
that
the impact
impact.
background.
Perfect.
But then I forget to take it off, and then I join like a Zoom meeting for work, and I still
Yeah.
have.
That's why I just added mine as we're sitting here.
All right. Well, we want to be respectful of everybody's time. Thanks for joining us on your lunch hour. I'm Sam Carnes. I am the president of Impact100, at least for this year. Lindsay Raymond, who's also here, is going to be taking over from me. So Lindsay, I'll let you introduce yourself.
That's all I would say is I'm Lindsay Raymond, and I'm the president-elect and will be stepping into that role of president in 2024. So excited to have you all join.
And then we also have Susan Marsh, one of the co-chairs. Let me see, Susan. All right. And then really, though, I think Laureen is going to kick us off and guide us through the agenda. So Laureen, you want to get us started?
Sure. So I work with Susan. We're co-chairs of the Member Engagement Committee. We've been doing that for a couple years now together and learned from others before that. But we wanted to first just welcome you. We really appreciate your membership with Impact this year. Couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't have our numbers if you didn't join, you specifically. We want you to feel very connected to our mission, and the way we can get started with that is really feeling connected with each other. So it's important for us to learn about each other, learn about what Impact is all about. Wendy Steele, I just listened to a podcast with her. She has a book out now about her journey. It's fascinating. She started in Cincinnati, Ohio with this concept of the 100 women giving $1,000 and then making a transformational impact on others in our local communities. I joined in 2018. The organization of Impact in Traverse started in 2017. I believe there's several on the call right now. I think more and more people are joining, so we can just chat for a few minutes before everyone joins. By raise of hands, who is new this year? Nice. Okay. And of you newbies, who came to the big reveal? So several of you. So you know that at the big reveal is where we announce how many members we have, and therefore how many grants we can give out, of what magnitude. We always give out grants of at least $100,000. We encompass the 5 local areas that we are around, and we also have 5 different categories of giving. So this year we have 339 members, which translates to $339,000, which is just mind-blowing when you think of it. And we'll award $113,000 to 3 different grantees. At the moment, after that big reveal, we opened up for the community to submit their applications for our consideration. So that's going on right now. We also opened up to allow people to become part of committees if they so choose, and that will be open. You can go to our website, and Sam will explain more about that, to sign up for a committee. The committees could be in one of the 5 focus areas. It could be in marketing communications or member engagement, also in the finance realm, whatever your talent is. But we call ourselves a no-guilt organization. We love to say that because honestly, if you want to just give your $1,000 and then sit back and watch the process, and then we hope you will vote at the end of the whole process in September to tell us who you would like to vote in to be granting this money to. Or you can get super involved. You could be involved in a committee, more than one committee. Some people are on member engagement and also on a focus committee. That's all great. The more involvement you have, the better you understand our organization. So we'd love to have you join us in some way, but you choose your own adventure. We have closed our membership for 2023, and now we're open for 2024. It's a never-ending cycle. So member engagement is always looking for new people. Susan is in charge of recruiting. I'm looking at retention, but together we work as a team to try to keep the numbers up. We have about 73% retention from the prior year, in the middle 70s. We'd love to see that even more. And the way we do that, in my opinion, is feeling more and more connected to our mission and to our goals. So I would like to turn this back over to Sam for a few minutes to just show you our website, show you where you can find events coming up, show you just how you can be connected and how you can start looking into Impact more deeply.
Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna share my screen really quick. Is everybody seeing that? You seeing the Impact website? Okay, great. So the committee sign up thing that Lorraine was talking about is under the membership section of our website. So if you go to impacttc.org, under membership, you'll see committee sign up. That's going to take you to this page. If you want to sign up for one of the grant review committees, those signups are actually over here because they're a little bit more involved than just checking a box for the other committees. You actually have to go through, we take our confidentiality and our conflict of interest and loyalty very, very, very seriously at Impact. So we actually, before you can join one of the grant review committees, you have to agree to sort of a set of guidelines that we expect everyone to adhere to if they're going to do grant review. Namely that the grant applications that you're reviewing are confidential. You're not sharing that information with anybody. You are not personally going to benefit from one of the organizations that it has applied getting a grant. There are several things that we need all members to agree to and adhere to before we can allow them to do grant review. So if you are, oh, whoa, what just happened there? If you're interested in doing grant review, those signups are over on the left, okay? And you can read through each one and see what the requirements are, the responsibilities. Each committee chair has their expectations and their meeting dates. So you can see if that's going to align with your schedule before you sign up for a committee. The deadline to sign up for the grant review committees is May 5th. So that's this Saturday. And the reason that we have to have a hard cutoff each year for those committees is because we're actually going to start grant review very soon. So we need women to sign up by May 5th so that your committee chair can gather all the names of everyone who's on her committee and can get you the information that you need to attend the grant review training and the meetings for your focus area. So May 5th is the cutoff if you want to do grant review specifically. Our other committees, over here on the right, we have several committees that allow sign up really anytime. If you want to be involved with any of these committees, you could sign up for those at any point during the year. We have Friends of Impact. That committee helps get community support. So you'll see at our events, we'll have a big board thanking our Friends of Impact. Those are organizations and individuals who have contributed to us not as members, but have provided things that we need for operations or have provided gift baskets for us to use to drive recruitment and things like that. We have organizations that cover our advertising, for instance, or who have like paid to help sponsor our website. So we get community support in those ways, and that's what Friends of Impact deals with. Marketing and communications, you probably have already started to receive communications. Existing members, I know you're getting our communications, but new members, you're getting our weekly newsletter and the other emails that we're sending out. Marcom really handles all of that. So they handle those newsletters and the other communications that we do. They keep up our website. So if that's something that's of interest to you and you want to help with that, you could sign up for that committee. We have member engagement. So that's what Laureen and Susan are a part of. And Laureen can give you a little bit more information about what that entails. The descriptions of those committees are also here on the left, too, if you want more information about any of those. And then we have our newly formed nonprofit engagement committee. So we realized this year, every year we, as a board, we meet and we do strategic planning for the year. And we realized that one area that we could really do a better job in was in engaging our nonprofits. And making sure that we are building up that pipeline of organizations that are applying for funding. So to that end, we formed the nonprofit engagement committee this year to make sure that the nonprofits in the area stay looped in on our process and are encouraged to apply for funding through us. So just to reiterate what Laureen said, though, don't feel obligated to sign up for a committee. If you are, you really want to be involved and you have the time to invest, of course, we are happy to have your help. But we really are a no guilt organization. We realize that not everybody has that kind of time to devote to that. And that's just fine too. If you want to be involved like a little bit, like maybe not as much as grant review, but you wouldn't mind showing up and helping set up for an event here and there, member engagement is a great way to do that. And Lorraine can tell you more about that. Oh, one other thing I want to show you though. We have a variety of events that we host throughout the year. Some are like the big reveal that we just did. So we have what we call the big three. We have the big reveal. That's where we tell everyone how many members we have and how much money we have to give away. We have Meet the Finalists, which is going to happen in August. That's where we introduce our grant finalists to everybody. So you know which organizations are going to be voting on for funding. And then we have our annual meeting in September. That's where we actually vote on which organizations receive the money. In addition to those big three events, though, we have other things that we do throughout the year. Some are more informational, like this Zoom that we're doing and the grant review training that we're going to be holding for people who do grant review, but some are just for fun. We have what are called our iConnect events. We hold those several times throughout the year, and those are really just informal and a chance for us to get together to just chat and have fun. And there's no formal agenda. It's just kind of a gathering. So on the events page of the website, I just want to show everybody this so that you know, if you don't want to have to keep checking this page or our newsletter all the time and you want events to just like automatically come over to your calendar, you can subscribe. So you can add this to your Google Calendar. That happens automatically if you use Google. Or if you use a different calendar like Outlook or iCal, you can copy the URL feed and then you go into that calendar and do add calendar by URL and just paste it in. So that way you don't miss anything, and it's really easy to know what's going on all the time. And now I will turn it back over to Lorraine.
Thanks, Sam.
Oh yeah, Lindsay, what's up?
Yes.
Just wanted to add real quick that if this isn't your jam, like looking on the website and doing, adding it in and incorporating it into your calendar, we have so many different social media, accounts. So you can follow us on Instagram. You can look at the Facebook page. I mean, for me, it's easy. I can just follow Impact on Instagram, and they are constantly posting, when there's events, and it reminds me, oh yeah, this is happening. And so that's an easy way too. If you're one of those people who scrolls when you have insomnia or whatever before bed, like myself, that's a way to kind of also keep it present. So just wanted to make you aware that we have a lot of different ways for you to be aware
for reminding me about the social thing. The other thing too is the newsletters. So in the weekly newsletter down at the bottom, there's always a list of our upcoming dates too.
Thank you guys. That was great. I'll touch a little bit more on member engagement because we're really always looking to engage and also recruit. So don't let Sam fool you. The iConnects, you can bring a friend, and it would be great because the more exposure we have and the more people that you expose us to, the better off we will be out in the community. We've done several things this year a little bit differently. We've attended different events downtown, like the Women's Night Out and the Men's Night Out, a couple of us. It was humorous and fun to just expose the name Impact. And it was really surprising. Many people had heard about Impact, had been thinking about it, but that one-on-one connection was really what was drawing them in. So it was really meaningful, and it's meaningful whenever you talk about them. I'm looking at the screen now with all your beautiful faces, and I've seen many of you at some of the iConnect events or at the big reveal. So I want to thank you for attending those. We do want to get to know you personally, so it's just lovely to see your faces and to know that we've connected at least once or twice or more than that. I want to go back to Lindsay for a second, because one of the things when I first joined, I would go to the iConnect events. I knew very little about Impact, and there's a period of time where I've not been on a committee other than the member engagement, because that takes a lot of time at the moment. And at the time I joined, I was working still. I'm retired now. But I didn't really understand what was happening behind the scenes. We were giving out $100,000. And so there's a lot that goes on in these committees to make sure that it's a sustainable grant that we might be giving money to, that the organization is financially sound, that their ideas have a robust meaning out in our community, and that our members can engage and really appreciate why we're giving to these organizations. So Lindsay has had many hats, many roles, and so she is very ingrained in the knowledge about what goes on behind the scenes. So if, Lindsay, can I just have you just tell us a little bit more about what's happening after we close out the grant application cycle? Then what happens?
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, in my former life, I was on the Arts and Culture Committee, and then became the chair of the Arts and Culture Committee, and then became the grant review chair. And so really one thing I'll do is plug for the reviews, because for me, when I joined, not only did I want to meet other women, and I'm a working mom and I'm busy and it's hard to find other time to meet other women, and other than the moms and dads that drop off, and it's hard. So I was looking forward to meeting other people, but also joining the grant review committees helps you learn about, one, the needs in our community. And sometimes when you're busy and dealing with your life, it's hard to know what's out there. You're kind of in tunnel vision, just trying to get to the end of the day and get the kids down or whatnot. And it really opened my eyes to some different needs and some different issues that our neighbors are facing right in our own community. And also really was encouraging because I got to meet and learn about a different number of different nonprofits and organizations in our community that I had never even heard of. I would have had no reason to have run into their type of service. And so it's really fabulous. So I encourage you to join if you want to learn those things about our region. But what we do after this is that each of those focus committees then will receive their application. So right now the nonprofits are applying. They're applying to our grant. Right now that they know the amount, they can dream big and come up with ideas that will be transformational in our community. And they write up their grant and they say, hey, Impact, this is what we would propose we do, right? And they submit their grants and they get to pick which focus area they think their project, their initiative fits best. And so we have 5 of those: arts and culture, education, family, health and wellness, and environment and recreation and preservation. And so once we receive those, we assign them to each of those focus committees. They then get to review those applications that are in their area. You get to read through what they're doing. You get to discuss it with your focus group, and y'all get to kind of decide, which one are we most passionate about? Which one do we think has the most transformational change? Are they sustainable? That type of thing. And so you'll go through that process on the committees. The committees ultimately pick their finalist after they are able to go to site visits and check out, the different applicants. They pick the finalist. That's what we have as the Meet the Finalist event. And when they show up at that event, the finalists know, hey, I'm one. And our members know this organization has been vetted by our committees, including the Financial Review Committee that also looks at those applications, right? So we know that they're going to be capable of handling this amount of money, that they are going to be capable of instituting and implementing their initiative. And then at that point, the Grant Review Committee is done, right? You've set up the finalist, and then it becomes the whole membership that gets to come in, hear their pitch at the annual meeting, and vote on where you want to put, our money, our collective money. And I'll just tell you, it's so amazing. Every year I just get ever since I've had babies, I can't shut off the emotion. So I don't know what happened, but I'll do my best. But every year I just get so empowered and I feel so inspired because we truly are making a difference. It sounds like cliche and I'm saying it, but before this, just real quick, sorry to go so long, Lorene, but before this, I had never given away written a check in this amount, to any organization. Yeah, I would donate and I'd give my time and volunteer, but this was like a huge deal for me to write a check this amount. But to know that my portion, that to me is a lot, but may not make a huge drop in the bucket, for an organization, to know that it's pooled with all y'all's cash and contribution, and we can truly change somebody's life, some organization's life and their mission is so empowering. And I hope you feel that energy too. It's a really genuine and authentic excitement that we get. And I just hope you, hearing this, I hope you realize that we take that, like Sam said, we take it very seriously. Like, we're stewards of that money, and our whole process is designed to ensure that once we say, here's a finalist, it's going to go. I mean, really, you can't lose. Whoever the members vote on, it's going to be an impactful change. So thanks, Lori.
Thanks, Lindsay. It's really helpful. So I'm going to jump ahead just for a minute, and then I'm going to come back to you guys because I want to hear from you. We're very respectful of your time today, so we want to keep this in within a half hour, hopefully. I wanted to tell you that although it's a no-guilt organization and you choose your own adventure, there are some things that, especially for the member engagement group, that we would love to see you do. The first thing is just spread the word. Spread the word to the nonprofits, to your friends, encourage them to join, encourage them to come with you. We do not add a lot of pressure at these events that we have for you to join. At least I hope you didn't feel that when you came to an event. We really want to just get to know you. We want to let you know about our mission. We want to just be a big community. If you so choose to join after that, we'd love to have you. If you have just a few minutes of time, you could be active on social. You could mention us in a comment. You could like us. The social media really can't be underestimated how empowering it can be and how impactful by just clicking that button to say like or love. The more people that do that, the better off we are. If you have a couple hours, come to an iConnect event, give to past grantees. They're on our website. There's a wish list from different groups. Many of our members have gone off and volunteered at some of the different organizations. Be a friend of Impact by donating your skills, your products, your venue. You've got more than a couple hours. Join one of the committees, introduce us to a brand new group you might be a part of. Come along with us to just increase some of the information that is flowing. Susan is writing her name and number. She's loved to connect with you. So write that down. Perfect person to answer further questions after this. But for now, tell us why, if you guys wouldn't mind chatting with us, below at the very bottom, you'll find different icons. One of them is a chat button, which is where Susan just wrote. You could write something there about why you joined Impact or what you'd like to see from Impact, or raise your hand and we'll call on you, or just speak up. You are on mute, so just unmute yourself first. You just hover over your mute button and it will, I think Susan has to unmute, or Sam, you have to unmute them, right?
No, they should be able to just unmute themselves.
So yes, unmute yourself and speak to us. Why did you join Impact?
Okay,
yes.
So I joined for very selfish reasons because I'm passionate about the environment and I never can. So I actually have contacted someone who I'm meeting with today. I talked to Liz Verschure about it. So I'm sort of like trying to quick catch up on how to help someone write a grant, where it sounds like a lot of people probably have been in the pipeline and just shooting them in right away, right? So I wanted to know if you had any advice on the sort of things I should talk to someone about when they write that grant. Do you know what I'm saying? Just like one.
So we actually, I'm really glad that you brought this up, Betsy. We actually provide a training every year for all nonprofits who are looking to apply for funding from us. This year, we actually had 2 sessions. We had earlier on in the year, I think very early February or end of January, we had an informal just ask us anything session that was open to all area nonprofits. Where they could come on and ask any questions that they had about our process or our guidelines or their eligibility, anything like that. Then after that, we had a more formal session that we hold every year where we actually, we invite nonprofits to come and get information about our entire process. And we actually walk them through the entire application. They get to see every question that's on it. It's not a secret. They know everything that we're going to ask. And on our website, on the grants page, is that full application so they can get a sneak peek at it before they even start anything in Submittable. And we also have a recording of that training that we did, as well as the packet of materials that we use. And all of that stuff is in there. So we go over our best practices. We go over our eligibility guidelines. We go over like what we consider transformational initiatives and our timeline for the year. So that's all in there. We don't want anything to be secret. We're not trying to gatekeep information here. We want the nonprofits to have all of the information that they need to apply.
So is it realistic to ask this poor guy to try to have it all together? Oh, well, we can ask her really better. You know, I mean, a lot of other ones have been preparing for a while, then you're saying. Yes.
I mean, not necessarily. We have not everybody who applies for funding has attended the nonprofit training. I know Marty has looked at that before, and I think we had determined like, I think 80% of our applicants had attended the training, but we have 20% who never do. And they, come in and they do submissions. And the one thing that I wanted to mention too, is we have also streamlined our application this year. So last year, we, in an effort to do better nonprofit engagement, we surveyed all of the nonprofits in our database, and we asked them for the ones who had applied what they thought of our process. And based on that feedback, the grant review chair and I really went through this year's application with a fine-tooth comb, and we cut out anything that we felt was non-essential, because we really are trying to streamline that and just remove as much friction as we can for nonprofits in applying. We realize that a lot of the nonprofits who are going to apply for our funding by nature it's going to be a lot of smaller organizations, right? So for a large organization like Interlochen Center for the Arts, whom I work for, they're probably never going to apply for an impact grant, right? We have an operating budget of $60 million. $100,000 grant isn't going to be transformational for us. The nonprofits that amount of money is going to be transformational for are smaller nonprofits who might be a little bit newer in their formation. And so we really try to structure our application process around that, knowing that some of these organizations, they're not going to have a full-time grant writer. This might be the first grant that they've ever written. Yeah. And so we want to just provide them with all of the information and tools that they need to get through and submit that application.
Yeah, because that was my last question, because my cousin said, has someone donate as a grant writer their time to this organization to try to help them? Because if they don't, a small organization has probably never written a grant before.
And we get a lot of those, honestly. I mean, we have a lot of organizations who apply where it's the executive director actually who's writing the grant, or somebody else on their staff, and they don't have like a full-time philanthropy person. Like that's pretty common.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Too much.
All right, let me just turn it back over. Chris, hold on a second. Let me go to Linda, because Linda had her hand up before. Tell us about your experience, why you wanted to join, and what you expect to get out of it.
Hi, thanks. Sorry, my little dog can't be left out. Anyway, sorry. I joined because a friend of mine told me about it, and I went to the event at Interlochen, which was wonderful. And the other reason, a couple of reasons. One, I'd like to meet some women who are like-minded in the community. I am retired, and my career was in Madison, Wisconsin, in private nonprofit agencies. So I wrote a lot of grants, had a lot of programs and projects staff funded through those. And I thought it would be a really great way to learn more about this community, and also to be on the other side of the table for a change. So
that's great.
I'm going to be on the grant review committee, and I'll probably learn something, and I may have something hopefully to offer. So
that's
thanks.
Perfect. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Okay, Chris, you had your hand up.
I was just going to say, I joined this group because I love to see women working together, and especially in this day and age, women working together. We all may have different political parties, we have different beliefs, but we work together to accomplish things. And I don't see a lot of external people working together to accomplish things. So I love that about the group. But I just did have a quick question. If as we're out recruiting nonprofits, are there certain designations like 501c3, 501c7, specific ones that can apply or can't?
Yeah. So if you go to, just so you know, here's an easy access. If you go to our webpage and you look at grants, they'll actually have all of our eligibility factors in there.
Thank
so
you.
Everyone can see exactly, but typically they have to be a 501c3 in order to receive our funds. So that.
Sorry,
Yep.
Lindsay, I did not check out there. Thank
Oh,
you. That's helpful.
No, you do not need to say sorry at all. Are you kidding me? No, this is a great way to ask, but I just so in case because sometimes I'll have people ask me, and I was the grant chair, and sometimes I can't remember all of the eligibility factors, but it's just an easy place to go where you could like send that nonprofit a link right to that page, and it has all of the requirements and eligibility factors. Thanks for asking, Chris.
Thank you.
This is why we're having this meeting, right? So that we can ask questions and just learn from each other. So I'm looking at some of the chats here. I see that Carlene said that she'd love to have a specific Share the Love members meeting to connect with others who are like-minded. That's perfect. We'll keep that in mind.
That's a great idea.
Yes, so Susan and I.
Why didn't we think of that?
Well, that's why we're here.
Yep.
Meeting like-minded women in the area. Someone made it sound so fun, which it is. And congratulations on finishing your master's degree. And you had free time, didn't want to sit at home all summer. I hear ya. And also become more involved and connected with women in the community. That you will. And these women are amazing. All different calibers, different skill sets, different personalities. It's so much fun in that way. You did note that Sam had to jump off, but we're still here. Anybody else want to join the conversation?
Looks like Daryl.
Daryl?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Darryl. Sorry,
Darryl, but I mean,
Darryl.
it sounds
That's
like
Darryl.
Daryl, but
Sorry, Daryl.
that's okay. I joined. I remember reading an article about it back when you formed, and it sounded really good. It sounded like a good organization. And then my husband died 2 years ago. And now I have, and I'm also retired. So I have a little more time and a little more disposable income. And I thought this year it would just be a good thing to do. So that's why I did it.
That's great. We're glad you're here. We're sorry to hear about the loss of your husband. That's so hard. But this will give you some connection to some other just wonderful people. So I'm glad you joined.
Thanks.
Anybody else? I'm sorry. Okay, Wendy.
Can you hear me okay? It's the first time I'm testing my
Yeah.
mic. Okay. A couple of friends on 2 different occasions took me to a couple of the outings at a couple of places to see whether or not it would be appropriate place for me to apply for one of the grants. And in doing that, I just kind of got more intrigued by the whole idea of it all, and decided that I just wanted to be part of it as well. Just to learn about so many other nonprofits out there that I didn't know existed, for the partnership's sake of my own, but then also just to help out and volunteer and community. My 2 older kids are older now, so I have a little bit more free time to be involved and actually get out of the house a little bit more now and meet others. We moved here 7 years ago, and I feel like I'm just now discovering the place. And yeah, so it was just it was awesome. And I already signed up for the member engagement committee. So I'll get to mingle and meet everybody, which mingling is my weakness, not my strong point, which is part of why I did it.
Wendy also won the
Yes.
raffle and got the cup.
Right now. Is to force myself outside of my comfort zone. And at the Left Foot Charlie event, if it wasn't for Lori, Sunny, and Anna, I probably wouldn't have signed up, because I was literally walking around like a deer in headlights, because I'm not a mingler, and they were so friendly and so welcoming, like, come on over and talk. And I had a blast with them that I'm like, you know what? These are my people. So I signed up, and I want to be able to pass on that same welcoming attitude at other events. So I'm here.
What Wendy's not saying is that she used to be a dolphin trainer, which makes her one of the coolest people ever.
Oh, come on. Seriously. That's so cool.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's lovely. I really appreciate that, Wendy, because that's the connections that we really want, right? To connect with each other, and it makes us feel wanted, needed, and you are. Each one of you are. don't think we really touched on the fact that part of our iConnects or our impact events, we go back to the grant recipients occasionally. We've gone back to Peace Ranch and we had an interaction with the horses, which was my absolute favorite because it was so moving to see and to kind of really experience what the kids or the vets have gone through and what connection they find with the horses, how you have to interact with the horses in order for them to react to you. It was amazing. We also went back to Inland Seas and saw their schooner that they had fixed up with our money and how they made it seaworthy and how they've been teaching and kids in the area and adults alike who work on the ship. We have gone to the Children's Advocacy Center to see the new building they have where they do their forensic interviews, which we helped to build, which was very impactful. That was so heartwarming and wrenching at the same time. Where else have we gone?
Cognition.
Cognition. I wasn't able to go to that one, but I did go with my grandkids and we spent hours there.
The Alluvian too. I think we had some arts and culture. They had a small group, but some people went and got to see the new performing arts center in Common Grounds building, which was really cool.
Yeah, right. So that really makes it real when we get to go and visually see how our money is at work. And we're always welcomed with open arms. So I see that there's some other things in the chat. There's a lot of some recurring themes, which there should be, because we do want to have connection with each other. Learn to connect with a new network to make an impact. Business sides of things, the grant review, that's great. Attainable housing, homeless prevention, environmental issues, very important. That's wonderful. Financial professional, that's lovely. These are all great reasons and we're loving hearing about them. Anybody else? We're reaching on the 40-minute mark, so want to be aware of your time.
I'll go.
Good. Okay, Ainsley.
And sorry for jumping in here late. I'm coming from another meeting.
Okay.
It's just, I was interested in joining because one, I just love connecting with amazing women in the area. I'm new as of this year, moved here with my husband about 8 months ago. And I'm good friends with Linda Lindquist and Jody, who both encouraged me to join. And just being working in the sports tech industry, it's like it's really, really rare to be with other women, to be honest. And so it's just a really cool, empowering thing to see all these women come together and make an impact in the local community. So just really excited to be a part of this group and yeah, looking to getting to know all of you.
Great. Anybody else?
Sure, I'll say hi quickly.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, good to see everybody. I think the flexibility, as you had described at the beginning, was a big draw for me. I'm also a full-time working mom to a 2-year-old. And so I didn't feel like I had, an extreme amount of time to give. And so I appreciate that, I can kind of test it out this year and see what it's like and, perhaps get more involved in the future. But that was a huge, huge draw for me. And again, just, kind of echoing what Lindsay said earlier, meeting like-minded women and, doing that beyond the school drop-off and pickup line.
Great. We're glad you're here. Anybody else? I don't know if I see the full screen here, so just shout out if you have anything else. Okay. So I think I've overused the word connect today. However, I'm going to say it again. We really want you to feel connected. And that means for those that are new, first time this year, we have put you in touch with a buddy. And hopefully you'll hear from that buddy if you haven't already. That person is just trying to add to your connection, be there for you to remind you of events coming up, be there to answer any questions that you might have. You can always opt out of that program, but we hope you find it meaningful to have a buddy. You also, as you go along and learn more about the organization, can become someone else's buddy. So that's always an option to you as well. If you don't feel like you're getting what you want out of the organization or you don't feel the connection, please reach out to Susan or myself. We don't want anyone to feel dissatisfied, disengaged in any way. It's not our purpose, it's not our mission. And I think that it's our responsibility, but also take it on as your own responsibility to get what you want out of the organization. So having said that, we really appreciate your time today. We hope you found the orientation to be meaningful to you, giving you a little bit more information, a few more resources to look at, get to see each other's faces, to connect in that way. I'm looking at you, Lori Fisher, because you're going to be on our committee. Not to call out, but I could call out all of you for a different reason. Thank you so much. We'll say goodbye for now. We'll be seeing you at some of the upcoming events, watching along through the social media. Please do some of the things that we've suggested, and we hope to make you feel connected and engaged. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Thank you, guys. So good to see you.